It generally comes out of a hotbed of procrastination.
Well, I used to just sort of go register for a festival, find a catchy name, and now I have a deadline, which I think is how a lot of people started.
I have a lot of lists, and I actually enjoy Excel spreadsheets.
I'd say there's two sides to planning. There's your admin side, which is like deadlines. You know, a festival or a season might be coming up. But I would say that you really plan for a show well before that, when you have the spark, where you have the idea.
Most of it just happens in my head for a long time. It spins around in there, and I deliberately don't write anything down for a long time.
I'm very inefficient. I have a lot of deficiencies in the way I create art. And rather than kind of try and work on those deficiencies, I kind of try to go around them, which takes a while. I think it takes a lot longer than, well, I haven't tried the other way.
I use a lot of visual things, so I'll do like brainstorms and lists.
Now I feel like I want to know what I want to say first, so that I have a really good idea. I no longer feel obliged to keep doing another show every year unless I've got something that I want to have fun with or actually say. I do a lot of song lists, so I'm quite good at imagining it's an album for me. So I just go, okay, what's the most amazing kind of album that I can think of, and what will the arc of that be, and then fitting everything else around it.
Usually I have the idea for a show, or I decide, as was the case this year, I sort of decided I just want to do another show in Fringe, and then inevitably the idea came. And for me, I really need to have deadlines. I know some artists that work really well, like just over a period of a year or two, working on their own time on a show. But for me, it needs to be, I have to have the deadline of, I've now submitted my rego for Melbourne Fringe, so therefore I have to come up with this show. So for me, that's how I make it happen.
There's lots of things to plan for. The more I've been doing it, the more I know how many things I need to plan for, and to try to get those as early up as possible.
Often it's an idea might go, okay, well I need to read as well. A lot of my shows have a lot of research involved, so I might just start reading on the subject.
Once I feel like I've got a collection of ideas, and often it will physically just be little bits of paper. Like I'll have a pile of paper when it gets so high that I'm worried and can't find certain ideas. That's when I know it's perhaps time to put it into a show.
And then yeah, it seems to happen the same way every time. Then I start writing notes, and then I kind of feel it come out, and then I start writing. But all the time I'm also then thinking of all the other stuff, like is this a festival show? Will this tour? Sometimes I think the other way. I was thinking, oh, what's my next touring show? So I think of something that might work. But usually it's an organic idea.
I like to start off really cheap and easy. So I'll often just get in a living room with some friends, make some pizzas, get some snacks together, maybe get 10, 15 people there, and just try out some ideas.
So the way that I plan for a show, I'm never sort of prepared for the idea. The idea often comes from absolutely nowhere. The most recent show that I did, I met a wedding DJ who was a bucket salesman by day, wedding DJ by night. And I just thought those two disparate ideas they have to go in a show. This is so incredible. And so that was the show that I wrote, was inspired by him. So I'm never sort of prepared for the idea, but then once I've got it, I just have this gut instinct, I guess. Yes, this is the next idea, and then it'll probably be about a year to a year and a half of writing before it actually goes up. Really, the intense marketing push and getting the show up at the end is maybe 6 weeks. So it really, really feels like a long, drawn-out process between, yes, getting that initial idea to when it finally gets up on a stage.